I'm the Figure Dude, and today we're going to be unboxing another order of head sculpts from Tom Veg. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back to the channel. Like I said, today I'm going to be unboxing another order of head sculpts that I got. This time it is again from Tom Veg, who I've ordered from multiple times. The last order I got from him was hit with some pretty steep tariffs. I don't know if it was necessarily just the tariffs or if it was because it was DHL and they have import fees. I don't really know. That was the first time it's ever happened ordering from Tom or Headeration overseas as well. But I got another order in today, and as far as the quantity, it was about the same, I'm pretty sure, but it was quite a bit cheaper. So I don't know if that's something on his end. I don't know, but it was palatable. So I was able to pay that without feeling too upset about myself. So I'm not gonna. If you wanna hear about that, go back to the last Tom Veg order I had, and you'll hear that conversation. But with the order today, if you know anything about me on the channel, if you take anything away from the channel, it's one, that you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures, and two, that I cannot pass up a deal. So I had some friends that wanted to order some stuff, and I figured, well, what the heck, I'll order some too. I can't help myself. So we've got a few different things. I'm gonna show you all the head sculpts that were ordered. But I was excited. I've talked quite a bit about how I'm gonna slow down buying stuff from retail, from Mattel. Just not, I mean, I buy more than Mattel wrestling figures, but I'm gonna be buying less just in general and trying to focus more on using the fodder and the things that I have available to me. Trying to be more cost effective. That's what I'm trying to do this year. So we'll see how that goes. I did order a lot of stuff during the holiday season. I always do. I always kind of plan on that. So I've got a ton of head sculpts, and today is the first of one of those orders. So we're gonna start off with my friend Spam Wrestling on Instagram, a longtime friend in the wrestling community, whatnot, but he had a few things he ordered. So actually I might have reached out to him initially and said, hey, I'm gonna order stuff, do you want to grab anything here? But the first head sculpt is going to be Lee Moriarty, and I've looked at this head sculpt personally, and I just have never been as attached to the wrestler or the character to pull the trigger on ordering it. I'm really excited, so I'm going to paint these up for him, as well as Russ, who has ordered stuff I've painted up for him before. So I've got a few things I'm going to be painting up for them. But it's always like I did that for Russ with an order, and then ended up ordering a bunch of the stuff that I painted for him because I painted it up and I was like, oh man, I gotta add this to the collection. So that might be down the road here for Lee Moriarty, but obviously he's an AEW guy, or ROH. I guess it's, if you want to get into the details there, but I think this sculpt looks nice. I'm excited to paint it up. I don't know what body he's going to be using for it, but surely it's going to look fantastic once he gets that, or once I get it painted up and sent to him. Then next up is one that I have done. So here is Chris Nowinski, and let's bring the brightness down, see those details a little bit better. This is one I did paint up, and I've finished the custom. I don't think it's on my channel yet on Work in Progress Wednesday, but I did already make mine. I'm very excited. The head sculpt turned out very well, painted up nicely. So Spam is also a big Ruthless Aggression fan. That's probably how we became friends in the first place. We initially bonded over our love for the Ruthless Aggression era, which brings this second head sculpt right here. And I'm not sure if you can tell just by looking at it. It's a Chavo Guerrero, but it's going to be Kerwin White. So I ordered one for him. I also ordered one for myself. So mini spoiler there. We've got two Kerwin White head sculpts here. See it a little bit closer there. But I've thought about making a Kerwin White figure for a long time. If you weren't a Ruthless Aggression fan, Chavo Guerrero briefly had a a gimmick where he became a white man, and his name was Kerwin White, and his tagline was, "If it ain't white, it ain't right." It didn't last long, partially because after the passing of Eddie Guerrero, he decided, I'm going back to just being Chavo Guerrero, which probably was for the better. I thought it was funny as a kid. It's obviously racially insensitive, but also I was desensitized to that watching WWE then anyway, so I was far from the person who was going to critique wrestling morally. So having said all that, I'm going to be painting up this one, adding Kerwin White to the collection. I've seen a few people make some Kerwin White figures, and I do think they look really good, so I'm excited to paint that one up myself. And then the last one that Spam had here is going to be a younger TNA Kazarian with the ponytail. He'd actually talked to me about doing this for his collection, and I was going to just sculpt the longer hair onto a AEW head sculpt, but I saw this pop up on Tom's website. I thought, oh man, this is perfect. Went ahead and ordered it, and this is one that I'm almost confident I will probably be purchasing down the line, because I have thought about it myself. I really want to expand my TNA collection. I've got a mix of older TNA guys like Beer Money Inc. I've made their customs. I've got some AJ Styles with that younger head sculpt we got from Mattel. But Kazarian, especially this look, I am most likely going to paint this up and have some FOMO and circle back around to getting my own. And then Russ this time just has one head sculpt in this order. I do have another order of things. No, I do already unbox a bunch of stuff from him. That's what I was thinking. This one is going to be a Steve Corino though. So I have a Steve Corino in my collection. I had a few misprinted heads that I got from House 14 probably a couple of years ago now. So I have a Steve Corino in my collection, but I don't have every look I might want. But I'm excited. This isn't the same head sculpt, but it is a nice head sculpt, so I'm excited to get that painted up. Let's get this to sit a little bit better. There we go. Oh, Steve Corino is an ECW towards the end there. The thing with most of Tom's head sculpts are older guys, and especially the stuff that I'm going to go through that I ordered for myself. Definitely some deeper cuts, just some things that I try to order stuff I don't think we're going to get from Mattel, but you never know. We get surprises every now and then. But there's Steve Corino, and then we're going to get to these sculpts that I ordered for myself. So first off is going to be, like I said, here's a nice deep cut. Either you know him or have no clue, but it's going to be Barry Horowitz, a jobber from golden era, the 90s, I believe. So I am trying to just expand the depth. And we're seeing it with Mattel, that they're kind of in their phase now where they can take a shot on some of these deeper cut guys, or like Steve Blackman, I guess kind of is a deeper cut. Depends on if you were an Attitude Era fan or not. Like, I don't feel like that's that deep of a cut. He was a prominent mid-carder for the most part. Barry Horowitz was a famed jobber, and I'm excited to make him. A lot of these, especially in some upcoming unboxings I'm gonna have, my knowledge is very limited. I've seen some matches here and there, but I just want to fill out the roster. So we've got Barry Horowitz, and then next up we're gonna, let me see, gotta grab another body. Okay, I had to adjust a little bit there. But next up is going to be Well Done. So they were another tag team, a jobber tag team from the 90s, and they have the most ridiculous outfits. They had bow ties, they wore singlets, and their singlets had like a thong design on them. And it looks terrible. It's everything I love about wrestling in the 90s. Just the outlandish, cartoony kind of looks. It obviously wasn't the boom period for wrestling, that new gen era, late golden era before it took off in the Attitude Era. So it's not looked at as looked back on as fondly by wrestling fans, but I'll tell you, when it comes to me and customizing, I love that era of customs because there's just so much colors. They look ridiculous, and that's what I expect from these. I don't know hardly anything about Well Done. I looked up a little bit about them, just because I didn't even know the name of the two guys. Which I don't remember at this specific moment either. But I threw them in here. I can't pass up a deal, and I don't think we're gonna get these from Mattel. So that's the big thing too, is if I can grab stuff and work on it myself and make it for my collection, I can just grab the stuff I want from Mattel at my leisure. Okay, no more tag teams in here today. Next up, though, is going to be Kwang, who was the masked alter ego, not alter ego because it wasn't the same character, but it was Savio Vega, and they pretended it wasn't, but clearly he had the exact same build. It was Savio Vega with a mask on. They called him Kwang. 3XR Studio has some Kwang decals in his library, which I've printed off, ready to go. I've made Savio Vega on the channel. Anything masked, I have a lot of fun with. I really like adding masked characters to the collection. They're just all, like, the masks are always just very colorful and fun to do. But again, I will preface this by saying I know very little about his actual in-ring pursuits. I just know that he looks cool. I've already done a Savio, so they're going to be right next to each other on the shelf. But anything I can add to the new gen era specifically, I am excited about. Then, someone who I thought was a lot more important growing up than I realized is going to be the manager, the brief manager of Shawn Michaels. I'm going to be making Jose Lothario, who was the manager for Shawn leading up to WrestleMania 12. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. I was always a big Shawn Michaels fan growing up, and especially when I was little, like going back and watching I watched that Iron Man match I don't know how many times as a kid, and then I remember like watching Shawn in his DX era. I never understood where Jose I thought Jose was so important to Shawn, and he was just like gone. But I have added this to my cart multiple times, been like, I don't know if I need to grab this, and this was the time. So I finally grabbed the head sculpt for Jose Lothario. I have some decals from Curb Stomp to kind of make the sweater that he wore at WrestleMania, and I'm really, really excited to add him to the shelf. That's another deep cut. If we ever get a Jose Lothario from Mattel, my mind will be blown. Now we are getting towards the end here. This one is Elix Skipper. So primetime Elix Skipper, most famously known for doing the walk on the TNA six-sided cage, and then doing the Hurricane Rana from the top, which was just insane. That's one of the lasting wrestling highlights from that time period. Was just ludicrous walk on the top of the cage, and then he did a Hurricane Run on I can't remember who it was sitting at the top there. But if you don't know anything about Elix Skipper, just YouTube Elix Skipper cage and you will find it. It's awesome. But he also was I'm pretty sure he was even the champion, cruiserweight champion in WCW. But I kind of knew him from TNA, and this is another one who I wanted to make. Like I said, I want to expand that TNA roster a little bit. So I finally went ahead and picked him up here. And then we have a couple left that these have been very high. These are always like the last one out when I'm ordering and have passed up on things. But we've got the manager for Ultimo Dragon, as well as some other wrestlers in WCW. But we have Sonny Ono, and I have wanted to make more managers in general, just to go along with my figures, because managers used to be so prominent in wrestling in the 80s, 90s, and now they're just kind of whatever. They don't, even if you do have managers, they don't they don't do much really. It seems like the managers that come out are just the wrestler, like an extra wrestler in a group. But I used to love when managers had stables of wrestlers. Like when Bobby Heenan, you watch WrestleMania, he comes out with like 5 different wrestlers at 5 different times, and that's just how it is. I loved that. Paul Heyman's like one of the lasting like OG managers. I mean, not from the 80s, I guess. But anyway, with Sonny Ono here, I have seen his. He has a. Is it Heels and Faces figure? Him and Ultimo Dragon came in a 2-pack, and I did think about seeing how much that figure was, but for the price, I figured, what the heck, we'll just get a head sculpt, make our own look for him. I don't know what body I'll use for him. I have a lot of suited fodder with like basic legs and stuff, which I'm okay with using for managers, but I'm excited to add Sonny Ono. I've had him on the list for a while. And then the last one, I wanna work on the Dudley family. So we have Big Dick Dudley, and I have wanted to make him. I think Head Gimmicks also has a. Excuse me, getting over that holiday season cough here, but I have a Spike ECW head sculpt that I'm gonna paint up. I want to make Spike, and I figured why not add Big Dick Dudley here. And I've seen Rude Awakening Customs has made a nice custom of him. I'm not sure what pieces I'm going to use yet. I'm thinking like a t-shirt torso, and then like some shield legs probably, or maybe some T-bar legs. I'll have to look and see if he has short or tall boots. But this one I am super excited for. I have done a lot of work to expand my ECW roster, so this is just another one. I'm going to make Public Enemy coming up soon. I know I have a bunch. I just have to go take a look. I've got so much stuff, and I've got even more head sculpts that I've ordered that I'm really excited to get to. But 2026 is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of side characters, but those are some of my favorites to add to the collection, because those are the ones that I don't ever know if we're going to get. I know we're going to get more Jey Usos. I know we're going to get Roman, Seth Rollins, all of those. And those are typically just going back and filling in attires that I feel like we aren't going to get. Like the Thanos attire, we just kind of glossed over that one and didn't get that from Rollins. We got it in a bad basic, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. That's everything for today. So if you stuck around through the whole unboxing, I do appreciate it very much. If you want to see more hauls, obviously more customs, collection updates, please consider subscribing. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.